In this video, I'm going to go over how to use basic shapes to make more complex shapes in Illustrator. So I'm going to use my basic shapes, which are located pretty near the top of my tool panel. Currently my ellipse is showing, but you might see a rectangle or a polygon or a star. And if you choose one of these and you draw it out, you'll get a simple shape. And so that was a rectangle. If I want to get a square, I just hold my Shift key to get a square. And notice it's drawing from left to right. If I want it to draw from the center, I can start clicking and holding and kind of drawing out. And then if I hold the Option key, it is going to draw from the center rather than from the top. So note how pressing the Option key changes the drawing. That can be helpful as we start combining different shapes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and delete some of these options here, and say I have this rectangle and I wanted to make a slightly more complex shape, perhaps combining it with a circle and making a single shape. I can do this in a couple of different ways, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give this a stroke so we can kind of see. I'm going to give both of these a stroke so we can kind of see what's going to happen here. Because basically what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to turn these two separate shapes into a single shape. And I'm going to do that by selecting both of them. And when I do that, I should see these Pathfinder operations here in my Properties panel. Now if I don't see these, I again can go to Window and I can go look for the Pathfinder panel and I can click on it and it will then appear here, and I can move it into my panel here. And that will just keep it there for all time. Now I already have the options here, so I'm going to go ahead and actually just save some space and get rid of this. Now I have a couple of different options. I have the union option, which will combine them into a single shape, so we notice how we lost that because now it is a single shape. We can also do a couple different options. We can minus the front shape, so we now have something different, right? So we lost the circle, but the circle helped to make a more complex shape. And then we have the intersect, which again can do that. So that's where the two shapes overlap. And then this exclude is probably going to give us a similar result in this case to the minus front. But we can see it actually didn't. We got a little bit different here because it's just excluding the parts that overlap. So one example I can give of using simple shapes to make complex shapes is, for example, to make a app icon or a simple graphic. I'm going to go ahead and make a cog. And I'm going to start by using the star tool. And instead of drawing it out like that, I'm going to go ahead and just click once, and then this gives me options. And I can go ahead and choose the number of points. I'm going to just choose a lot of points. And that gives me a basic star. Next, I want to take away these points here so that we have a kind of flatter star. So I'm going to get my ellipse tool. I'm going to hover in the center of this until I see the word center appear on my screen, and you can see it really small next to my cursor. Then I'm going to start drawing my ellipse, and I'm going to hold the Option key and the Shift key, so I know that it's making a perfect circle, and it's drawing from the center. I'm just going to bring it in a little bit, and then I'm going to select both of the star and the circle shapes together, and then I am going to pick the intersect option so that only where both of those shapes are is going to remain. Then I'm going to draw another circle, and again I'm going to find the center until I see that point. Then I'm going to start drawing, hold the Option and the Shift key, make a slightly smaller circle so that we don't have such a sharp interior point. Again, select both of the shapes, and again actually this time I want to just do the unite because I want to just have that shape as it is as one shape. So now I kind of have a basic cog, and I can in fact add another circle to make that hollow. And so in this case, I'm going to do the minus front in this case. So now I have a cog made from stars and circles. You can make many other shapes this way. This is just one example.